Hey guys, this is a different type of video than what we normally put up on the channel. Normally we try and stick to more career coaching, right? Like interviewing, networking, getting a promotion, job changes, things like that. But since my company just gave me a work from home allowance to essentially revamp my home office, I thought that maybe you guys may be going through something similar. Maybe you also got a gift from your company, or maybe you're just thinking about revamping your home office since as it's looking right now, due to COVID, we're probably going to be working from home for the remainder of 2020. Now, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to build and how I wanted the office to look, I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and bloggers and YouTubers, and I'll throw some of those videos all over here so you can check those out if you want. Most of those are tech channels, so they focus a lot on like the monitor and the computer and the fancy keyboards and all that stuff that you need to get. And we're not a tech channel, but sticking with the theme of practicality, they cover a lot of the basics, right? Like where they bought the desk and the materials and all that other stuff. But they skipped a lot of really important practical information when it comes to building it, assembling it, making your room look nice, putting it all together, and how you should be thinking or what you should be thinking about when you're thinking about a monitor, desk, chair, etc. So this is the video where I want to cover all of that stuff that all those other YouTubers, who shout out to all of them, don't really cover. And so maybe you guys will find this information to be really helpful before you go out and spend hundreds of dollars building your dream office. So with all of that being said, we should probably show you what my old office used to look like very, very quickly. All right, so this right here was my old desk setup. It's an IKEA desk that's probably 5 or 6 years old. I got it when I first graduated college. But my main problems with this desk is that it's a little too short, or it's not wide enough. It's only about 43 inches wide or long, so you can't fit a whole lot of stuff. And because of how my room is set up, and I'll show you guys the internet down here, my cable management is a bit of a mess, but because I have my internet modem and the Wi-Fi router right there, it does need to be pretty close to this outlet down here on the bottom because that's where the cable guy connected it. And because all my internet stuff has to go there, therefore, if I want fast internet and run the Ethernet, I basically need to have all of my devices and peripherals here on the left. So I actually can't put any of that stuff on this side to free it up to give myself more room. So, and even with a laptop stand, it doesn't really save that much space because it's just pretty confined. One of the other solutions was to get one of the monitor arms, but with how this desk is designed, you actually can't clamp it onto the back. So in order to attach a monitor arm, you actually have to drill a hole through the desk, and I don't have the appropriate tools for that. Now, I did just want to mention that I don't actually plan on changing any of my peripherals, like my monitor, my mouse, or my keyboard. My mouse and keyboard, I would say, are less than $100, both, even combined. And then my monitor is also less than, I believe, $200. I'll put a link down in the description for all of the stuff that I have because it's, I would say, much more budget friendly, and some folks may get a kick out of some of that stuff. All right, so now that you've seen my old desk setup, it's time to start building my new quote-unquote desk. And this desk is actually 2 IKEA drawers with a large kitchen countertop placed on top of it. This isn't a new concept. This is a really popular at-home IKEA office desk setup that has been made popular by YouTubers like Your Average Consumer or Matthew Encina, so credit and shout out to them. Now, one thing you should know is if your company did give you an allowance or a budget to upgrade your home office, you are going to need to explain how your itemized receipt or invoice isn't actually a desk. It'll show 2 drawers and a countertop, so you will need to explain that to someone at your company. Okay, so we just got everything delivered from IKEA. I did wait to film this until after I finished building one of the Alex drawers, just so you guys could see what this looks like and the packaging that it all kind of comes from. Something to keep in mind, there's 2 versions of the Alex drawers. This one is the more expensive one. It's like $10 more. It has 3 smaller drawers and then 1 of these bigger ones. The cheaper version has basically 5 of these smaller drawers. So if you don't think you need the bigger drawer or the storage space, you can save $10. And this is the packaging that it comes with. And I want to talk about some stuff that I feel like all these videos overlook, and this is stuff you should know that's super practical. It's very heavy. I would say it's at least 40 pounds, could be more, and it's kind of an awkward shape. I think to be safe, probably takes two people to carry. The tabletop itself, the Carby, which you can see back there, that's very heavy. At least two people to carry that for sure. And it's 76 inches tall, or I guess in this case, it's lying down, so 76 inches wide. So it does not fit in any standard car or even like the smaller SUVs. You're definitely gonna need a truck or even one of those larger SUVs like a Suburban or something like that. I had this delivered because I bought these during COVID-19 kind of quarantine lockdown, and there was no option to physically go into the store and pick it up curbside or just go shopping. And it was like $70. I thought it was really pricey for delivery, and it took them almost 5 weeks to deliver. But one thing I've learned, and I think that everyone doesn't talk about this stuff, is you should, in my opinion, pay for the shipping and delivery, especially if you live in an apartment complex. The reason being is just logistically, right? All of this stuff is very, very heavy. And with this countertop, if you live on like the second or third floor or in an apartment complex, or you want to take this up to your room on the third story of your house, navigating through all the elevators and the doors, the railings, the hallways, it can be really hard and even may not even work. So maybe you want to rely on the professionals to go ahead and deliver all of this stuff for you. But I think these are some things that you should definitely consider when you are buying and thinking about building this. Just the overall logistics of it. And make sure you have a really good friend.
All right, so assembling your quote-unquote desk is actually quite easy once you're done building your two Alex drawers. The only hard part about building the drawers itself is literally the very first step, because IKEA instructions are horrible. And so just watch a YouTube video on how to build the Alex drawer. I'm actually thinking maybe I should just create a second YouTube channel where I literally just show you how to build stuff from IKEA, because the instructions are so bad. But anyways, once you have your two Alex drawers, you carry them over into your room, you set them roughly 40 inches apart, and then you just put your Carby countertop right on top of it. And just make sure you don't put your countertop flush against the wall right away. Leave some space for you to actually attach and add your monitor arm and to run cables out the back to lean on top of the table for cable management.
All right, so after you've built your new desk or figured out what your new desk is going to be or look like, the only other thing you're probably going to be wondering is, should I be upgrading my chair? Now, this was my old chair. This is the IKEA Marcus. If you do a Google search for best office chairs, this one always comes up and it's right under $200, so very, very affordable. I've had this chair for about 4 years, had zero problems, never broke, never squeaks. Very, very comfortable. I like that it's tall enough, has a nice headrest. This is mesh, and this cushion here is super, super comfy, and it has a nice flex where you can lean back. However, I do live in California, and now that I'm spending so much time at home due to COVID, things are getting a little hot and my apartment doesn't have central air conditioning. So if you are in a slightly warmer place or don't have air conditioning running all the time, you should definitely consider a chair that is all mesh. And so that was going to be a huge requirement for me when I'm picking up a new chair. I did another Google search for best chairs in 2020, and all of them recommend Ermin Miller chairs. Ermin Miller chairs are like $1,000. I honestly do not think you need to spend $1,000 on a chair, no matter what all those blogs and YouTubers say. Definitely don't need to spend $1,000. This is the Staples Riken chair. This is their most popular chair, also very highly rated. I love it because it's all mesh, don't get too hot, especially down here in the nether regions, which is what was happening over here. And again, super key, it has a headrest so you can lean back. And a lot of these quote unquote best chairs, they're really short. They don't go that high. And so what happens is if you want to end up leaning back, you can't because it doesn't go high enough. And also if there's no headrest, your neck will probably just snap back like this. Not a very comfy experience. So while this cushion is slightly softer than having this mesh, I do appreciate the fact that I don't get too hot. And that is a big, big win for me. And this chair is right around $225. You might be able to get it on sale for a little bit less than $200. I've had this now for about 3 weeks. Also, zero problems. The assembly was a bit of a pain. The instructions are pretty bad. I feel like whoever wrote the instructions didn't actually build the chair, because the first step it tells you to do, you actually should do that one last. So, quick tip there. But hopefully this helps you when you are deciding what new chair to get if you want one.
Thank you for watching the video this far. I wanted to give you as much practical information so you could be educated when you are going out there spending money and revamping your new home office. I'm going to have links down below for all of the gear that I bought and all the gear that I do have in my home office, so you guys can check that out for yourselves. I'm really loving my new setup, especially compared to the old desk that I used to have. I'm feeling a lot more inspired and productive with the wider space. Now, this is definitely a different type of video than what we normally put up on the channel, so let us know if you like it or not with a like or a dislike, and leave a comment below. And subscribe if you want to get the best tips for interviewing, networking, and accelerating your career. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.